We doing it again. First of all, that's all I do is do it again. So tonight we got Pop the Brown Hornet, a vetted hip hop artist in the game for 27 years to reign over Staten Island with his reputable and respected catalog of music. His name is spoken upon highly by hip hop legends, pioneers, execs, Wu Tang members, MCA Records, Sway in the Morning, DJ Premier, Who Mag. I know you Rob Swartz. All right, so tonight we're gonna kick it off with this song right here, Foreman Mandela, New York City, New York City, stand up.
With a team. Now that I'm grown, left out alone, got my own regime. Let yourself grow, don't be scared to dream. I was a staple in the hood, now I'm seldom seen. Born to be great is what it says on my certificate. From day one, I was always on some different shit. Wins were hard to come by, losing it came easy. Now I'm moving up like George and Wheezy. From the hood to Hollywood, Walk of Fame. From bright lights, bold letters, you can read my name. Bomber has arrived, run and tell a friend. Never follow no one's footsteps, set your own trend. Fuck them in the long run, you don't need them. You can't put a price tag on your freedom. Nowadays they don't respect the game. They wanna stab you in your back and throw shit on your name. Foreman Mandela, a champ and a leader. I take a doubter, make them a believer. The longer the journey, the bigger the reward. That's why I move on my own accord. Can't rush perfection, greatness takes time. I want all my blessings, no skipping the line. When it comes to dropping knowledge, who better than me? There's none higher than the G.O.D. You gotta crawl before you walk, mumble before you talk. Gotta be a pawn before you king of New York. The road to success, it's complicated. So, enough respect to all those who made it. The trials, tribulations, the ups and downs. Forced to deal with this industry, weirdos and clowns. Can't buy stripes where I'm from, you gotta earn them. You're no Big Willie silly, in fact, you're still learning. Pull up on this big dog pump and get chomped on. I'm that raw rap bitch, you're just a pop song. You rep that new rap, popping pills and such. I'm that classic hip-hop, hash weed in the Dutch. Far from commercial, my sound is universal. Don't get close to the speakers, my punchlines will hurt you. My technique is so unique, from the way I lay it down to the words I speak. Foreman Mandela, a champ and a leader. I take a doubter, make them a believer. The longer the journey, the bigger the reward. That's why I move on my own accord. Can't rush perfection, greatness takes time. I want all my blessings, no skipping the line. When it comes to dropping knowledge, who better than me? There's none higher than the G.O.D. All praise due, these sinners don't have a clue. Everyone's not gonna make it, it's only a chosen few. Most live their life using greed to succeed. Money, materials, the foundations of their needs. They never smell the roses, too busy smoking weed. The same traditions they pass down to their seeds. Wake up, my people, wake up, he witnesses. Satan has you on his guest list. Got you celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas. No more dancing with the devil, I'm rolling with the righteous. Fuck the shitty end of the stick. Time to let the dogs loose on some Mike Vick. Put the lock on the industry like a wild pit. Dominate the game, forcing these fools to forfeit. Up in the wee hours of the night, my pen gets exhausted. My word plays like AK spray, relentless. Foreman Mandela, a champ and a leader. I take a doubter, make them a believer. The longer the journey, the bigger the reward. That's why I move on my own accord. Can't rush perfection, greatness takes time. I want all my blessings, no skipping the line. When it comes to dropping knowledge, who better than me? There's none higher than the G.O.D.
Yeah. Yeah. Pop the Brown Hornet.
Bumble fire!
Staten Island, New York, stand up. Pop the Brown Hornet. Let's go all the way in. And man, talk about the journey. Talk about what you doing.
Yeah. So that was Foreman Mandela, off the album Foreman Mandela, the title track. That's been out. It's all on all platforms. So add me to your playlist if you love traditional classical hip hop. But yeah, that's what it is, man. We here with Bomber Fire Enterprises. So that's Who Mag Distribution with Rob Swartz, Sony Orchard. That's what I'm putting the music out on that platform. if you're an underground hip hop artist that wants to roll with underground individuals such as myself, you know what I mean, submit your music or holler at me in my DM on the Instagram, and maybe we could do some business. But it's definitely on some, you know, Bonfire Enterprises looking for some artists, and like I said, that's what I put my music out on.
Absolutely, it's a big night. Like I said, big shout out to Marissa MJ Hip Hop Connex for bringing you to the platform.
Shout out to MJ. Yep. Shout out to MJ. Shout out to Phantom of the Beat, the producer of the Foreman Mandela track that you just.
There you go. Yo, that's that was that New York stuff. I heard it. That's definitely that New York. I can tell like Wu-Tang and that type of vibe. I can hear it in there.
That's that vibe for you.
That's the vibe. You know, I like that vibe, you know, because I know that can bring out the best lyrical content to me. We've talked about this about most of these tracks out here that are being produced are basically the same track. I like the 90s, 70s, 80s, early 2000s. You guys were a lot more creative than the ones are here. That's not to say that I don't like their music, because I do like a couple of the new wave, but definitely I like that vibe right there. All right, let's jump into it. 27 years you've been doing it, and now you got your own thing. You're putting a couple more people in place, which is always good. You know, reach one, teach one.
Right.
That's the model. But, you know, being up in New York City, I need to know, man, who you know that came out you could pick up the phone with that's been in the game for years?
I mean, besides my comrades, I don't really try to lean on or pick up the phone and things of that nature. But if need be, I mean, you know, I could probably lean on or hit maybe Daddy-O on Facebook or something like that from Sonic. But you know,
Daddy-O, Sonic.
Yeah, well, when I was signed to MCA, you know, he was one of the A&Rs that worked the project when I was with GP The Grain / GP Woo. So, I mean, he stays active. He always reaches out. But you know, like I kind of like want to walk my dogs and get my own feet wet and get respected on my own level. I mean, there was one thing that KRS once said that when I was growing up that always stuck out, and he was always like, you know, I don't brag about the people I know because they're still front and they ain't giving me nothing. So it's like I know a slew of people that's in the industry, but at this point in the game, it's like you got to show and prove. They want to see what you bring to the table. So it's like with anything else, if I'm here to add on, and so with me staying busy and being on a hiatus for a little minute before I dropped my last album. I mean, before I dropped this Foreman Mandela project, I dropped a project with King Just called The Best of Both Hoods, The Emperor and the King. So it's like, you know, he's from Park Hill, I'm from Stapleton, so we were both kind of missing in action, and we figured let's blow the dust off the mic, you know, and see what we got. So I followed it up with the Foreman Mandela project, which was majority was produced by Phantom of the Beat, aka Haas G from the UMCs, and
Haas G, yeah, he was on the show before. Haas G, I know you're talking about.
Right, so he did the majority of the production on the project. Plus, I've dropped a couple of singles. We'll jump into one of the singles later on with the Force MD. So he was the producer of that track as well. So it was just like on this comeback trail, like you said, I more or less wanted to keep it kind of traditional to the New York East Coast sound, but at the same time, as an artist, I know that I have to be able to bend and twist, but just don't break, to more or less have that foundation of hip hop, but be able to also have that kind of present day feel. So as much as I stay with the foundation of what I grew up on, pardon me, I also engage in more of these beats that's being made now, but I just keep it who I am. I don't have to bounce around and try to make believe. And you know, I just keep it into the pockets of who I am. I come with a couple of different aliases anyway. So from being Pop the Brown Hornet to being the Brown Bomber to being Bomber Fire. So I can use a different beat. But Brown Hornet might not rhyme to that beat, but Benny Black will and things of that nature. So I think that an artist is more like an actor as well. When you look at Denzel or whomever, who's your favorite artist or actor or actress is, sometimes it's not best for them to play the same role over and over and over again. That gets redundant. And I feel the same way kind of when it comes to a lyricist. I like to kind of switch it up. So I might have a song with the Force MD's Daydreaming, but then my newest single is Touchy Feely, which is a little bit more raunchy and edgy. But like I said, I like to switch up the styles. So you get it. I like to please different people. They might not like Daydreaming, but somebody might like Touchy Feely. They might not like Touchy Feely, but they like Foreman Mandela. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you know what? I did notice all three of them had a complete different vibe on it. Like that one was the one we just played, the Mandela record. That one was more traditional sounding, but I like to hear that kind of stuff too, because you hear the lyrics a little bit better, you know. And I'm more of a lyrical. I listen to the words. If I'm going to listen, I'm going to listen to the words.
Well, before you jump off that, like you said, you're lyrical and you listen to words. To whereas, and that, like you said, that's the throwback to the 80s, 90s, where it was lyrical. To whereas the artists nowadays, they could say one verse and run it twice, and that's the song.
Definitely.
Say the hook and boom, 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 and then get you chanting to whatever vibe it is, and the song rides out. And you didn't you grabbed a little spark in the energy, but you didn't take any substance. You didn't digest anything. So it wasn't songs of substance. It was just like a pacifier, a quick tease.
Absolutely. Who's your favorite DJs you like?
Favorite DJs?
Your favorite DJs. There's got to be some DJs up there that you like, that you got love for, you push for. And, it's some DJs, period, that will, as soon as you give it to them, I don't care if you give me about 5 or 6 of them, it don't matter. That's how your music get out there. You got to give it to the DJ. Yeah, and if nothing else, you got to get it on the internet.
I'm kind of out of the loop, so I don't know who the DJs is, but you know who is? I'll say DJ Ace, the cut master, Lord Lieutenant from out of NYC. Ain't nobody messing with that boy. That man's hands is fat.
DJ Ace, New York City, stand up.
Yeah, man, that boy wicked, the lieutenant, the officer. But yeah, he cuts it up. Go follow him on Instagram. You'll definitely be pleased with his technique styles. Yeah. But yeah, shout out to all of the DJs, man. Around the globe, there's so many to name. It's like I have a favorite one, but whoever's playing my joint the most, that's who I love the most.
Yeah, there you go. That's that, and you know what? That might be a better fit for anybody, though. Give me your top 5 male MCs. Top 5 female MCs, and y'all better not hear. I don't listen to nobody.
My top 5 all-time MCs.
All time, in no particular order. Let's just go right on in. Because everybody.
We said KRS.
KRS One, of course, and he's still number 1 at that. Because he came up there. That, whoo, man, that was the best verses for hip hop, period.
So I'll add Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane. Hard to deal with Kane.
Chuck D.
The voice. Chuck D had a distinctive voice. It almost was like a reverend voice to me personally. Never better than better, sort of like Rope. He had that, to me, that's the type of voice he had. But lyrically, they were teaching us. So
lyrically profound, baby. Where we gonna go? We gotta go Slick Rick.
Slick Rick, ruler.
It's like only because the storytelling is I know, and my list, like I said, I'm going with the pioneers because I know a lot of the a lot of the next generation, their favorites may be the Nas's and the Biggies and so forth. But
yeah, everybody had their favorite.
The people I'm naming taught them, and that's who they learned off of. So
yeah,
I have one more, right? And
one more. And it's gonna get interesting with them women, you know.
Oh, I thought you said 5 women. No, but
yeah, it's gonna be 5 guys and 5 women, but it's gonna get interesting for you for those 5 women. I know it is.
And then for the 5th one, who do I usually say? Because
Rakim.
Huh? Rakim. Oh yeah. I put Rakim because usually.
Yeah. First of all, let me say it like New York. The God MC. That's how y'all say it.
I'm gonna put Rakim with honorable mention. Cool G Rap. He comes in like
Cool G Rap definitely telling stories.
When we come to the females, I'm gonna go Lauryn Hill. MC. I'm gonna go MC Light.
MC Light. Light is a rock.
I'm gonna
Paper 10.
I'm gonna go. I always like Rage. We didn't hear enough of her, but I love
Rage. I know about Rage.
Always love Rage. We're gonna go. I'm old school, so I'm gonna go. I'm Sweet Tea, and it's my what? It's my beat, and we gotta say salt and pepper to round it all.
Tea, salt and pepper.
In the top 5 right there. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So Queen Latifah and all of that. Like I love, Moni Love. Oh my God. Like Moni Love could have had more material, but Queen Latifah is definitely, she's 6. She could easily knock out Sweet Tea because she has more material. So
Yeah.
But I love them all. Those are my ladies.
I mean, you didn't miss with none of them. It's funny because when it come down to the women, those are pretty much the ones except
the Rod Digger too.
Rod Digger, of course. You're Rod Digger.
Will assassinate the list,
Yeah, well, that's why I put it at 5 because I know you can probably go 10 on both. Top 10 on both lists.
Yeah.
You definitely do that, and all of those women that you chose were definitely respected MCs, and their names come up a lot on my podcast, pretty much every last one of them. But I'm gonna tell you, you was the first one to say Sweet Tea. Now,
when I was a youngster, when I was just a kid with my runny nose and then my everlasting sneakers and my bummy clothes. But yeah, when I was a youngster, and the ladies would come on, I just thought Sweet Tea was like, I was a little dude, chocolate. I just thought she was bad. So that's why she always stuck out. And like I said, she didn't have the body or work, but I just thought her and the way her style was just, she had a
swaggy. She was a swag.
Yeah, swag was.
I remember that. I think she did the song. I've got this feeling that's making me crazy. I think that's what it is, though. Yeah.
She had a few of them.
Yeah, but that particular one right there, I used to really like that joint right there. But I know she probably has some other heat, that probably never, because that's just like any rapper who they got records that maybe the record label didn't push, but they probably definitely has some heat.
Yeah. Like one of her, the diehard fans will probably be like, Sweet Tea, it never came out, but the shit she kicked on the corner with Bang Bang. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to Run DMC, they probably had joints when they were, here we go.
Oh,
The essence of those songs, you probably had about 10 of those, but that was the one that kind of like propelled and got the
rap had a different energy back then, though. That rap music was inspiring more so. You know what I mean? If you say Run DMC and Kumo D and all those guys, from back in the day, and of course, they had some unique beats. Think about it. The show to this day, I think that's the greatest. I think that's the greatest rap up-tempo song that stood the test of time, in my opinion.
you know what? I do. I mean, you onto something there, you onto something because a lot of people will ask me what's my favorite, what's my favorite hip hop song of all time, and that
Yeah,
song jumps out to me to be number one because it possessed the elements of hip hop from scratching to the beatbox to the rapping to the breaking, the originality, the whole, and then they took the beat from the Black Wizard of Oz when bam, 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 bam. What I think they was going to see the Oz to see Richard Pryor or something like that, but
yeah, of course.
in that movie, that shit is in there, and it's like, wow, man, they made that song so large, and it was, like you said, it hasn't been duplicated. Yo, Doug, you put your ballets on. I was about to, but I need my shoe on. 6 minutes, 6 minutes, 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh on. Yo, it's just like, and then it rides you out. I played into one of these New Jack Swing, one of these new millennial hip hop dudes, and when I played it to him, he was so lost. He was like, "This is your favorite hip hop song?" I was like, "Yeah, man."
You know what was
I
funny?
was like, "Not Lil Wayne."
You want to hear something funny? It was a mom and a daughter, right? And the mom was telling her about Nas, right? This was so funny. She said Nas was trash and the Migos is hot. That's what she kept saying. And they were going back, and she was like, "You can't keep saying Nas was trash." But I'm telling you, it's just different eras. They believe that stuff from back in the day, they just don't entertain it, man. Some of them just don't entertain it at all.
Well, some of them don't, but there's some real, and I was surprised, but there are a lot of hip hop youngsters that it would surprise me because it was like my nephews is maybe like 23, 24,
Yeah.
and to like a few years back, like even when he was like 17, 18, I heard him listen to Tupac, real heavy. And
Yeah.
I was like, "Yo, what you listening to?" And I see this Walkman, and it was Tupac, and I was like, "Yeah, what do you know about this?" He's like, "Nah, homie, he was talking some real stuff." So, and like I said, it was like I was kind of shocked, but you would be surprised.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised no more.
And especially the females, like those college girls and stuff, they'll
Oh
listen to
yeah,
Fox. They're heavy. They're like followers. Like
yeah.
they know some of them are woke, where they know that the music that they're listening to now is just party, feel good. Like you said, there are a handful that stand out from the crowd, but
Oh, definitely.
the majority is just hear feel good music. Just they got a whole generation of the pill popping, scissor sipping, and twerking. But they are ones, like you said, that stand out from that, and they are very inquisitive about their history and taking it, taking the hip hop lyricism that they don't find with these artists today.
Well, you know what it is too, and I know this has a lot to do with it. See, we're in an era that we can't even tell who's selling music. Like, think about it. Nobody can prove that they're selling music right now.
Selling music or streaming?
Actually selling music, like somebody physically going out. I don't care if it's just a thumb drive. They need to do something whereas though we can figure out, is this really the music we like, or you just giving this to us? Because physicality was the only way you made it back in the day. When you had to go get the cassette, when you had to go get the CD.
Yeah, well, they probably, of course, they destroyed that format of the game and probably just to take control of it. But like you said, if it's not programmed or designed to win, like a Nas X when he came out, that was his program. He just came out of nowhere, and it's like, you know what I mean? So where you have artists that might, like myself, will be in it forever and making quality music, but won't get the time of day. So, of course, when you have a program director, you know what I mean? He follows protocol. So the music that they hear,
yeah, of course, yeah.
So the music that you'll hear on mainstream, of course, is going to like you said, of course, it's not solid music anymore. It's like you can play with the numbers. Well, who was the most streamed? All right, it was blah, blah, blah. And they could just run with it because they don't have to deal with the physical copy. I mean, what's the young man who came, Tory Lanez? He just came out and he put his music out on.
Yeah, he sold it for $1.
He sold it for $1, and what happened?
He made $1 million.
He made $1 million, and also the people that brought it for $1. One of them, he just was saying, was worth $50,000 now. You know what I mean? So imagine if you had brought 60 of them at $60, and they'd be worth $50,000 for, you know what I mean? So when you say that's the new, that's he broke the code. So are they going to change that up? But if not, this is the time to get in on that. But we have to have our finger on the pulse of the music in order to get there. You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, they may have taken the radio and things away from us, but with this being a $1 billion industry, with this dealing with content, we just have to be more creative. So I'm glad for platforms like this, because in mainstream, you know, you got to go through the major conglomerate to have a voice, to get an interview. They're not putting you on Hot 97 and all of that. But radio isn't like it used to be anyway. So these new platforms could be the norm. We just have to have a strong radio presence and to be able to break the Brown Hornets of the world that are out to give you good hip hop, but you know is neglected from the mainstream or the FM dial.
Yeah, you got it right on that. All right, so look, you know I got 3 songs, so we're gonna go to number 2. It's Daydreaming, featuring the Forces D's.
Straight out of Stand Now.
Still daydreaming about this woman, man. Think about it, man. Hey, yo, Phantom, I need you to call up Stevie D. If he don't pick up, get in contact with Khalil. Definitely gonna have the force on this one. Yeah, I think about her all the time. Can't keep her sexy ass off my mind. Heartfelt hugs with them juicy kisses. On vacation, taking the flyers pictures. R&B left same day that she did. Zayn said he seen her flexing with some new kid. I want her back, now I'm plotting and scheming. She living the best life, I'm home daydreaming.
Always dreaming about you, baby. You know it's true about you. You got me feeling for you. Sweet as holding mine. Oh, takes me where I want to be. Where I want to take me daydreaming. Ooh, that's me
Drifting on the memory. Wrapped in your arms, there's no place the farmer would rather be. Between your legs where it's nice and warm. In a heat wave or a thunderstorm. If the weather's frigid in an ice cold blizzard, my door's always open for you to come visit. Have you spread out on some smooth silk fabric. Play them for some D's with a touch of blue magic. Just a small sample I have you with. Not a part on your body I wouldn't live. From your head to your toe I go nice and slow. Run to your girlfriends that you dealing with a pro. Yeah, I got you smiling, you know I be wildin'. I'm from Stapleton, Staten Island. Bring out your freaky side and get you zoning. Let your head down and watch you get the moaning.
Oh, yeah. You heard it. There it is right there, featuring the Force MDs, Legendary. In fact, somebody always inboxes me about their show, that they do. So shout out to the Force MDs. They wrote a lot of hits.
Yes, appreciate the force for even collabing with a brother such as yourself coming out of Staten Island. Shout out to Khalil, Zaim, and of course the great Stevie D.
Yeah, Stevie D. Shout out to Pink Money, Zephyrin Daniels, Jaslyn So, Pink Money, Zephyrin B. Moore. Jaslyn is coming from Minnesota, Minneapolis, home of Prince. That's how we do.
Shout out. What's going on, y'all? Thanks for tuning in.
Tuning in right here. We're here once again with Pop the Brown Hornet.
Fire!
He's taking us on his journey. He's taking us on his new journey with his new project. In fact, we're going to talk about that. How many songs have you done so far? Because I know you got something loaded in the clip, ready to unload.
I got songs for days. So, like I said, we just deal with the topic at hand. There'll probably be definitely another project coming up next year. So I ain't going to get into details, but definitely was working during this last 2 years. There's a lot to write about, so just didn't want to jump the gun and write about falsehoods or whatever. I know they're going to be just dissecting people's lyrics, but Bomber Fire, man, I come with it. I just want to be strategic about it, intellectual. So there's definitely songs. I have songs from back in the days that I never put out. Some I just polish them off. But sometimes you have songs that are timeless. They always fit. When I made a song called Black on Black Crime, which I'm very known for, and I made that in the 90s. But when you think about today's present time in 2021, Black on Black Crime, it got to stop. It's time that my people start reaching for the top. The only way we're going to get there is together. Let's start the revolution. I'm for whatever. I mean, those lyrics still fit to this present day right here, right now.
And you know what? Once again, if you take it back to the original hip hop when it first got started, I believe once Chuck D and them, who was the first conscious act, you think? Was it Public Enemy was the one that really took it over the top? They were selling out arenas and all that. But was there anybody before them?
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how you keep from going under. Rats in the front room, roaches in the back, junkies in the alley with the baseball bat. It's what you make conscious. But the message was the conscious rhymes. These were conscious lyrics coming early from Melly Mel and things of that nature. So I mean, Chuck D, that's when it got more commercial and the labels got involved and the videos got involved. So it became more of a staple and a stamp when Public Enemy touched it. But there was definitely conscious rhymes and hip hop before they came through. I mean, even when you look at Run DMC and there was what was one of the songs they had doing Sucker MCs? It was like the B side to Sucker.
Yeah, I mean they had a lot of records. I mean, Walk This Way and.
No, what that was those were hits. But when you said conscious lyrics, it was like
like
P.E. It's coming at the get shot. People coming, people don't ask me because I don't know why. But
that was one. That was definitely one right there. It's like that. It's like that. Yep, definitely.
So there was always consciousness in hip hop, and I think that's what really made hip hop stand out to the forefront because it was so raw when it first came out. Even though you had good songs as far as when Curtis Blow.
It was a different time too. It was still a little struggle in there. We were coming off of, like you said, the revolution. We were hearing those words during those times, and neighborhoods also went to the left. Because that was also like the drug era. Drug era came in, and that changed a lot.
Well, you gotta. To me, in America, every 10 years is like a whole new drug era. So once they left the dope and we made it through the 70s with maybe just weed, here came coke, and then crack hit in the 80s, and then straying through the 90s, and here came the pills with Eminem through the 2000s. So they always have, you know what I mean? Fentanyl came shortly thereafter. So it's always going to be something in the hood that's going to throw us off course. I think they keep that routinely going. My thing is, like you said though, it was like from our grandparents to our parents to us, crack kind of derailed us because it kind of tarnished three generations at the same time, whether it be the generation before us to our generation to the unborn. So with that being said, you know, I say just for the black man, the black woman to be relevant and present to this day is such a big deal because the odds were stacked up against us, you know, from like you said, the drug era, the crack era, to HIV and AIDS coming. These all came in the 80s and 90s. So, you know, we've definitely endured a lot of trivial, hard times and trials and tribulations. You know, coming up in the urban in the hood out here in America, it definitely wasn't easy. So the music kind of reflected that. I think things softened up, you know, after the DMX era and then Eminem and then Drake came through. I think our music took a little change to whereas, you know, the temperature of it wasn't so more thuggish and hardcore hip hop anymore. It's kind of been R&B and hip hop meshed together. You know, growing up, I remember it was like, you know, Hot 97 where hip hop and R&B live. And then the kids grew up with that mesh and their music is harmonizing with lyrics.
Yeah.
And that's what we have in this present day.
Give me 5 of your top greatest rap songs of all time. No particular order.
Yeah, but
I know you got some in you that, you know, that probably inspired you to become a rapper in the game.
Right. So we'll definitely start off with knocking off, you know, Slick Rick and Dougie. We'll put that on as one of them. Run DMC. You pick anyone, but I'll pick Rockbox. When that used to come on, so I drive a caddy, you're fixing to fall because we're dealing, got a funny feeling, rock from the floor up to the ceiling, moving. I mean that's what used to move me. Then what comes after that? A KRS-One joint gotta be.
KRS-One had plenty.
Yeah, but just for off the rip, we'll go boom, 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 boom. Ah! You know, I mean, but there's so many. And definitely the bridge is over. But there's so many from KRS. That's 3. Then we'll say, you know, when I heard Big Daddy Kane's Raw, you know, I knew that the game had, especially it like.
Yeah, that was a club banger.
It was running like Run DMC, and that's when you see when KRS and Kane and them started coming in, you see the ship. But that Raw, here I am, RAW, a terrorist. That kind of elevated a lot of MCs and inspired a lot of MCs. So I'll say that's 4. And we'll throw 5, one of them Chuck D jump offs up in there, man. You know, you'd be like, shut them down or don't. No, welcome to the Terror Dome. Come on down. What is that Terror Dome shit? Woo! You can play.
Yeah, and that track was driving.
That Terror Dome?
Yeah, that Terror Dome track was driving during that time.
What?
And matter of fact, I mean, let's just be real. They actually made people wake up.
And that's why they shut them down, because they didn't want anybody to be woke during these times. Imagine if we had the Chuck D's and the X-Clans and the poor righteous teachers and the brand Nubians.
Oh, I got one. Jeru the Damager. I used to like him.
Jeru the Damager. I mean, come on, bro. Throw the bomb, bro. Throw me up in there with my black. I'm there. I'm in the mix of that, man. I'm part of that native tongue type of still slice your head off type, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Dead presidents. Those are my boys too. I like that gutter. Shout out to the cellar dwellers.
Yeah. I want to go back to Coogee Rap. Coogee Rap
I was
was
5 years old.
telling Roads to the Riches. That was one of my favorite rap songs growing up. And I mean, he was really telling you, how to hustle in that record. Like, if you go back and really listen to it right now, that particular song, he was showing you how to do it.
Well, Coogee Rap is definitely one of the top storytelling, underrated because he's so hardcore with it. But when you listen to that, when you listen to In the Streets of New York, when you listen to Hill Street Blues, when you listen to any of that Coogee, man, his visuals, his storytelling, he puts you right there in the mix of it. So, I mean, definitely one of the greatest. Definitely one of the greatest lyricists, man.
I think one of the greatest rap songs, I got two. One, a lot of people don't even mention it. The first one is The Symphony. I think that's one of the greatest rap. The track, they rapping on it, and it stood the test of time. It's just like the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Lyrically, I mean, even if you listen to it now, I mean, the track just goes and goes and goes. But here's one that came from the West Coast, and it was called The Point. Do you remember that?
No.
There was one out called The Point. Biggie Smalls was on it. It had all West Coast cats. It was basically like a symphony. When you get a chance, punch up The Point. And you're like, oh, yeah, the West Side had one just like that. I'm quite sure it was big over there, but the symphony is known over here. But they got one like that, and it's called The Point because I had the vinyl. So I was DJing, and I remember, picking it up. And during that time, that's when Scarface and all them was hot.
Right.
So, I remember that one particular record, it was called The Point. It was fire.
Okay.
It was fire. All right, so we picked your top 5. As far as the females, though, the one thing that I try to stress with the females, what top 5 female songs did you like?
Top 5 female songs that I like,
and we all listen to the female songs. Come on now, we listening to them,
Yeah.
What's your top 5? In no particular order, it's just give me your 5.
I would go Salt and Pepper.
Salt and Pepper. Oh my goodness.
All Push It. All Push It is in my top 5.
Salt and Pepper is the greatest female rap group.
I could go for that. We go Lauren the Hill.
Lauren.
You got one of the tracks on there I thought was fire.
What song with Lauryn Hill? When she was with the Fugees?
Nah, off that
Miseducation.
Yeah. She got one of them, she's just going in. And stilettos and not Roberto. And then she be going, I don't know if it's the score. No.
You lost one, I think. You talking about you lost one?
That was one of them, but that I'm not even talking about that because that was one of the commercial ones. But even we can go with that one. That was fire.
Yeah.
Let me go with Queen Latifah's.
Queen Latifah.
Who you calling the bitch? UNITY.
Man, Queen Latifah was fire, boy.
That was one of my joints.
I like the one she did with Moni Love.
Oh, Moni Love is my baby right there.
Moni in the middle.
Yeah.
No, she did another one with her.
Yeah, probably another one that she with Moni was in. That wasn't the only jump off.
Shout out to Moni Love. I did meet Moni Love when she came to Philly.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like a host on the radio. I met her once. In fact, the reason why I met her because I was DJing a party for Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq came. This is when he was with the Heat, and when he came, and look, I'm gonna tell you how crazy this night was. It was a bunch of legends in there. I believe, matter of fact, I know D Nice was a DJ. We came on before him. And it was all Ed Lover and all of them was in there at a Shaq party in Philly.
Okay.
So you know, I'm a vinyl guy. So a lot of this stuff that we talking about, I got.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? It was hot. I had it.
Right.
Mm.
I got you. Um, and then I got two more. I'm trying to just think off the rip because that the last two is so difficult because like these females nowadays I like I like a lot of they I like their stuff. A
I
lot
think
of
Nicki Minaj did great. I think she did great.
who?
Nicki Minaj did really, really great. I mean, then she started adding the singing into it, and you know, she didn't like the pop rap, but it worked. It definitely worked.
And even with Nicki, I mean, shout out to Nicki, great talent. And I think she took hip hop definitely to different heights with her artistry. But it's just something about her first single when she first came out, and I would definitely rate that as one of the top, hip hop songs. If I could have this moment for life, I just think that song really epitomized her, and especially when she jumped into, her stardom. It was just like
She told a story.
that moment for life. It
Yeah.
just changed her because she never looked back. So I like that song from her. Of course she had bigger and greater songs, but whenever I think of, I don't think of any of her raunchy songs first. I think of that song. It was just, I think
Yeah.
she captivated a nice segment in time in that song. And then I would probably, just for the funk of it, I would throw in a Missy Elliott joint.
Missy Elliott, of course. She had a lot, man.
Boom, 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 boom.
She had a
One of
lot.
them joints is gonna get you jumping. Missy, when she performed at the Super Bowl just out of nowhere, she did that. I was like, and she ain't saying nothing great lyrically, but her energy and her showmanship is for a
She had a
female
lot of swag records for females.
top notch, Missy Elliott.
Yeah, she had a lot of swag records. And shout out to Lisa Ray. She's actually on my Facebook page. I gotta see if I can grab her on here. You know, she Missy did an album on her too.
Okay.
Eyes, Bet Not Wander, all of that stuff. You know, you punch up Nicole Ray. That's her name, Nicole Ray.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And when you said Missy Elliott, she wrote so many hits, man. Like they got to get it. Look, don't nobody even want to battle her in the verses, because God knows who she would bring.
Yeah, I mean, she could sing some Mary J. joints or all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So right now, I'm gonna say this. We were talking about conscious rap music. Out of the rappers now, if you could put out a record that could affect the rap game, would you do it if it was positive and you did a collaboration with somebody who's got the radio on fire? Would you do it? Instead of doing something just to put it on the radio and bang in the club, and would you do something like that right now?
Of course I would. And it would be great to be able to do, like you said, a conscious album.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Yeah. So I mean, even with a conscious album, I think I would have some fun with it, because when I listen to the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, I think of that of a conscious album, but still she had fun with it and she touched on different elements. So even when you say a conscious album, I don't want
No. Just a conscious song. Just one song you could throw on your album, because I know it gets real sticky if you try to throw a bunch of them on there.
So if I had a conscious song, to put out there, of course, if I was able to do it with an artist that's relevant right now, like what artist would I want to do a conscious?
Well, no, just do it with whoever you want. Give me two artists. You got a verse and two other greats. Pick your two that you would want to do that record with.
Right. One of them I think will probably be Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys. Oh man, you trying to you definitely gonna get a crowd.
And then the other one, a conscious song, would be That's a good one. But I would have to go with. I want to say John Legend, but
Man,
then
you got Alicia and John Legend. Don't worry about it. You gonna get your streams. We was just talking about streams. Well, don't worry about that. It's gonna happen.
Yo,
You're gonna get a billion streams with this one.
well, you figure, listen, if I'm gonna have an impact and I'm gonna do something that's gonna be conscious, I mean, those in, they're influential in their own right. So yeah, I'm trying to get somebody's attention quick.
Okay, so now I'm gonna give you one that you want. Hardcore 2 for y'all. One record, y'all going in hardcore. Who's the 2 artists you would pick for that? Yeah, you got to sip something on that.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, you had to sip on that one, but you went, wait a minute. Now he dropping heat on me now. 2.
There's quite a few.
2 of the greatest, and remember, you could pick whoever you want. 2 on that one song, so
It's one song.
One song, but 2 people. So it's gonna be 3 verses. You do the hook or whatever, but 2 people along with yourself on that song, hardcore, talking that street talk.
Oh, I gotta talk street talk. Oh,
You're gonna talk the street talk now.
Oh man. Well, there's nobody better than talking street talk than Jada Kiss. So gotta put Jada. And then I would probably say that's a good one.
Jada, of course. And you know what? Shout out to Jada Kiss, because he's one of the few MCs that you can never get tired of him rapping.
Right.
Like, he can come out every 3 months to me with another new record. And I'm a big Locks fan. Every time I was a New Yorker in here, especially when I had Samantha and them on here, I used to tell them, look, give me the Locks. And guess what? The Locks went on the verses and they was ready.
And then if I could, I'd get a verse from Scarface.
Oh, well, once again, you're going to lock down the streets and you're definitely going to get your streams for them 2 songs. I can tell you that now. Matter of fact, you need to bring that, you need to wish that in tuition right now, because if you get, I'll tell you what.
I'm glad. Shout out to Scarface, because I know that. Shout out to his son for giving him the King and things of that nature. But yeah, man, growing up off the Ghetto Boys, man. I mean, they was coming street. We was living in New York, and shout out to my big bro Itchy, Juice and stuff, because him, his brother Horse, and them, they was listening to the Ghetto Boys, and I was like, what the hell y'all listening? He was like, nah, you gotta listen to this shit. And it was this different, and it was street hardcore slang when I was listening when they first came out. So, of course, Scarface evolved and is one of the dopest lyricists. So, as much as Jada is street, Jada is definitely, he can go conscious as well. But just to give you that street pill, he's going in hard. We get the classical.
He stays relevant with words too. What keeps him who he is, he's relevant with he stays in tune with them words.
Oh yeah. Well,
his words are always relevant.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he got his finger on the pulse of hip hop, so you can never go wrong with him. And then, like I said, just to pick a legend, the talking street stuff from back in the days, and just like I said, just to break up the monotony. It doesn't really have to be East Coast. You got West Coast. I could have named, somebody from the West or what have you. But I just think that talking the street, that would be great. Now, if I was going to do like I said, I hit all angles. So if I'm coming for the ladies or whatever, that's when I'm doing the joint with Bruno Mars. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you going for the streams now. It's obvious. You done came to your senses. You said, wait a minute. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it big time. So
I got one joint. I got one joint. So if I got one joint with the hardcore, I'm going Jada. and Scarface. I'm
Yeah, there
coming
you
for the
go.
ladies. I'm coming for the ladies. I'm coming with Bruno Mars. I'm coming with some Conscious. You know what I mean? I'm coming with the legend, and I'm coming with the keys. You know what I mean? That's
Listen. The Bruno Mars one, you already know. All you gotta do is let him do 2/3 of the song and do the bridge or something. But
I
let
mean,
it be,
he could throw me on the remix of "I'ma keep the door open." I can get on that. We can just, you know what I mean? I'm easy to satisfy. It won't even be that hard, player.
By the way, I'm glad you mentioned that song because I'm picking that song. That's gonna be the song that actually get the most awards. Whenever it's in awards, I know it is because that one was actually probably the best song of the year. It was only because we hadn't heard it in a while.
Okay.
Because the song was a vintage track. It was something we kind of like sort of heard before, but it was a while ago when we did hear it. And that's what made that song. And of course, Bruno Mars is hot, and the band was hot. So shout out to Bruno Mars. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna let you put all your information out there. All your Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and then we're gonna close it out.
Yeah, so if you want to follow me on Instagram, that's Pop the Brown Hornet _ green related. Pop the Brown Hornet _ green related. If you want to follow me on TikTok and Facebook, that'll be Pop Brown Hornet. And those are my social medias. So yeah, those three. But yeah, once again, thanks for having me. Thanks for tuning in. You know, we're gonna cap it off with the new single.
You already know.
Touchy Feely.
Touchy Feely.
This for the grown folk. Tuck the babies in the bed.
Tuck the babies in the bed. Pop the Brown Hornet.
Club banger right here. Come on, let's get it. Oh, my favorite DJ. My favorite DJ.
Sucky, flirty, lick me like a puppy, got me ready to explode and swallow the whole yucky. Lick the lips, told me I was lucky again. Another day, another dollar. Dipping from the Impala. The man in the tinted van looking for a collar. I'm the dog off his leash. Eating in the belly of the beast. That'll break me off. I need my own man. I'm a grown man. Get off that child's play. Get with the program. Hurry up and grow up. Better get this dude now, baby, before I blow up. Cause I'm off the bigger and better. Women well put together, willing to splurge a little cheddar. Oh, nah, I ain't with the petty. I'm ready to do it big, shower me with confetti. And if she's mad, never eat her spaghetti. Cause like my rap flow, that shit could be deadly. I'm crazy nice with it, I don't stop, get it. Catch me in the dirty, can't go away and keep it. Verbally, I spit it, physically, I hit it. Mentally, I let the world, they could never fool with it. I'm too complex, I'm into rough. Trim you up like a barber, then ask them who's next. They don't need to cut the line, there's enough to go around. Gut check specialist, aka Pop the Brown. Stapleton, baby girl, you know how we get down. Touchy, feely, sucky, feely, lick me like a puppy, got me ready to explode and swoop the whole yucky. Lick the lips, told me I was looking through an arrow to the sky, screaming. Touchy, feely, sucky, lick me like a puppy, ready to explode and swoop the whole yucky. Lick the lips, told me I was looking through an arrow to the sky, screaming. You only need to tell me once before I hit her with that Captain Crunch Hawaiian punch. 12 o'clock break, gotta have her for lunch. Right after 1 or 2 blunts. I'm a nymphomaniac, I love a brainiac. Fat nerd, good, now that's a Thundercat. Go on, girl, make it clap. You know who it is, bitch. It's Benny Black the Mac. If you come and bring it right and exact, don't be afraid to throw that arrow back. Once my fingers in that arrow crack. DJ, don't turn me down yet. Now that I got her nice and wet, tell us get that arrow to slap. Pass the contact, matter of fact, hit the bar. She need another shot of that yak. I let her know I rep the Allen the stat. And you look addictive, like a walking pack of crack. G-bone, baby, I can bring that all back. In about 45 minutes flat. She got a strong base. Ain't afraid to take it in the face. She said she love the way he tastes. Damn girl, you a keeper. Had me in the headlock and then you put me in the sleeper. I was knocked out for the count. Hit her with the super in the big amount. Large quantity, open up wide girl. Don't be afraid. Back at tonsils like Apollo Creed. Who off for radios, who wants you for TV? Is Benny Black the Mac off the Allen Stack. Sucky feely, sucky feely, lick me like a puppy. Got me ready to explode. It's the whole yuppie. Lick the lips told me I was looking through an arrow to the sky screaming. Sucky feely, lick me like a puppy. Ready to explode. It's the whole yuppie. Lick the lips told me I was looking through an arrow to the sky screaming. We can't stop, it's only 5 a.m. If you're scared to come alone, you could bring a friend. I'ma make you scream over again, and I'ma leave it in.
Yeah. That's it. Thanks for coming out. Pop the Brown Hornet.
Thanks for having me, baby.
You already know what it is. Thanks for coming out. MJ Hip Hop Connex. We did it again.
Fire!
You already know. Holla, man.